The information in this video is meant for a certain type of person and thinking. And if you are finding this video, please just listen to what the content is inside all the way before judging it, and maybe check out my other content, and maybe even check the description and join the Discord server, which has more information that goes back into itself and where you could also share your information or things you create as a creator in this area. So check out the Discord server and let's get into it. So you are a pattern. This pattern that you are has a deterministic amount of responses given a situation. That this is the same as what they talk about in science today when they try to be like, you don't have free will and humans are predictable. Now, this is true, but only up to a point. Now, let me explain why. Your free will manifests as the ability to shift your focus. The pattern that you are is from the environment that you're in, coupled with the fact that you can shift your focus. It is the difference of receiving every channel there to grab in the air on the radio station all at the same time, or tuning out and only choosing a certain band happening that you can pivot your focus and thereby act as a filter in which other things around you are not invading in. And through the practice of seeing like metaphysical concepts of who the person you should be and like rehammering in your values to make them more metaphysically rounded, you will actually become that person. And it's not so much about lying to yourself until something is true. Rather, it's a process of like reprogramming the aspects in which you where you everything emerges from. Because every action that you do, your behavior is directly emerging out of the, your perception and the aspects in which your perception emerges. How you see and think about reality and people and how things work is that intent is carried over to everything you do. And in my model of reality and how I see it, um, you are emerging realities. You're manifesting realities that are within some kind of correspondence with your framework and how you think things work. And this is basically where maybe like New Age spirituality or like something even older, like Hinduism, will be like, there's karma, and you're getting the karma of how you are, but they just explain it their own way. So, but that is kind of what I'm getting at here, and is that, what you resonate with, the pattern you become, that is like the totality of you. If you could quantify it all, it would be it would be a basically kind of a signature that's collapsing reality within its behavior. And behavior, it needs to be continuous, which I've talked about continuity in the last video. And all reality needs to have continuity. Nothing manifests if the entropy of that manifestation would null experience or collide with some reason in which why you are manifested in the experience. A big thing I tell people about manifestation is that, especially if you want to go down this path and get it functional, like consciously functional, like it works, is you need to submit to the fact that you don't really know what you want if it was given to you. If it was given to you and you experience it, you might realize you're a different person. So here's the problem. It's the same problem as aligning super intelligence. We don't know how to apply metaphysical structure to hold X amount of power that leads into like a misusage of its power. Uh, I mean, maybe we do know how, but then that information isn't being given to everybody, so nobody's living within it. So even if even if the idea is there somewhere and you see it, until you make your pattern that way, it's not gonna do that. So you need this discipline when you're changing your focus to kind of hit the most like least resistant state of your mind to any attachment to like reality and caring about hard variables of it if you want it to manifest, because manifestation is some kind of like flow with your true self, and that's how it actually works. And things that have high potential to emerge to you just will. It's more about these probabilities and the dice rolls, and then there's some unseen mechanisms always at play. There just always is, because for reality to have continuity, it needs the contrast of the knowable and the unknowable. If everything was known, there'd be no point to fucking like experience it. So you shift your focus to like different metaphysical objects you can become, uh, like you know, like structuring yourself with love and peace, and then you just focus on that, and you take out thoughts and you try to work on changing your perception about what you think about people, and you deliberately over time like rethread your mind and your instant reaction you have to shit when you think about things. So because we will always all do this and have some flawness if you kind of thought about, could this objectively be better? You will think that about your own thoughts. So think about when you're living every day and you're like just going about your life and you see something and your immediate reaction in your mind, like what impressions are you putting on people like instantly. And this automatic assignment to it's kind of like automatic assignment of metaphysics to people like you're doing unconsciously when you're like framing them a certain way immediately. It's kind of indicative to uh the pattern that you're thinking in, which could be emerging reality. You could be literally manifesting into realities just because of how your perception is angled. And until you get a hold of it, you know, you'll continue to like kind of bias yourself into these realities in which you won't even see that that's the case, because you're just focused on how it works for you, which I touched on some stuff that if you guys haven't, go like check out the first episode of my channel. um, yeah, because there's some information there that glosses over a lot of things. I can't like talk about all of it in one video. I have to like break it into segments. But, like get away from manifestation and just think about the raw, like, the changing your perception. This is helpful information either way, that even if manifestation is not real, that you changing your perception to work on being a better person does have noticeable effect. It just does. So, what I'm just trying to say is that there's correspondence with this ability to change your focus and who you become, and then the things you experience when you do that. And, you know, I can get into like heavier metaphysics that go kind of like off the abstract deep end of consideration. But like the simple fact is, you kind of are what you focus on. You are what you eat, dog. Um, and that's basically it. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Um, I do have informational sheets, like structured information, um, that you guys could come read. It's in the Discord server. You can find that in the video description. And yeah, I think this is going to be it. Um, I'll make another video sometime soon, and see ya.